All right, I wanted to talk a little bit about visibility graphics, which you guys have been using, versus object styles, which you haven't really talked about. We kind of jumped right into the visibility graphics. I have 3 floor plans open here, and they have no visibility graphics overrides on them. So if I were to go to VV, you would see everything is set as it would be right out of the box. There's no overrides or view templates applied. So what I want to do is look at object styles and the difference between object styles and visibility graphics. Visibility graphics, I can pick one view, like this view right here, and I can go to VV. I can come down and change any of these, but I'll change the fill pattern for the wall. So I'll just make it, red, and we'll make it a solid red. I'll click OK and click OK, and you'll see that just in this view, that will turn red, right? Or I could go to visibility graphics and I could change the wall to the cut lines to a much thicker weight. Like I could change them to 12 and click OK and click OK, and now those are much thicker, except for this weird slanty wall that it can't seem to figure out. So I'm going to undo that. Now, so that's a view specific, like a instance parameter for that view. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my object styles to change the line weight, although not the fill, the line weight of all the walls. So it's by object and not by view. So object styles is in your Manage tab. And it looks similar to the visibility graphics, but it's much more limited. All you have is line weight, line color, line pattern, and material, right? So there's the projection, which is the elevation, and there's the cut. So I'm going to drag this over so you can at least see these two, Plan 2 and Plan 3. And I'm going to scroll down to my walls. So here's the walls. They're set to a 7 with a line color of black here. I'm going to go ahead to this pull down, and I'm going to pick 9. And I'm going to hit apply. Oops, except I need to pick 9 for the walls, so we don't have any topography. I'll pick 10 and I'll hit apply. And you'll see that both of those views, it's not the views where the lines get thicker, it's actually the object. So all the walls that have been cut have now gotten thicker. So if I click OK here and I zoom out, every single wall that is being cut, regardless, anything of the category wall that has not been overridden by element or by visibility graphics will read as a 10 line weight. Okay, so I'm going to zoom back in. All right, so open up my object styles again, and I'll scroll down to the walls again, and I'll change the line color. So if I change the line color to something like a dark gray instead of a black and hit apply, you'll see all of the walls change. And you'll see that the curtain walls and the curtain wall mullions are in a separate area. So you can see here's curtain wall mullions. They're cutting at a 3, right? So if I go to the curtain wall mullions and I cut them at a 6 and hit apply, you'll see all the curtain wall mullions will get thicker. So what I would do typically is I would go in and set my object styles to what I like, and then when I want to update it, I will go and change it in the visibility graphics and make a view template. Okay, I'm going to hit cancel here and not do the gray walls. So difference between visibility graphics and object styles. The fill, the default fill for the walls actually lives in the material. So if you go to edit type and you figure out what material is on here, right, it's this wall generic white, and the cut pattern is set to gray, right? Now it's not showing up gray right now because I'm going to cancel that, cancel that, cancel that. Let's make sure that we are in hidden line mode, right? Which we are here, here, and here. Let's put this one in hidden line mode. Okay, because we're in coarse, you see this detail level of coarse? The coarse detail level is set to no pattern, which means it's going to show nothing. If I set this to medium, it will actually read the, whoops, wrong one. It'll actually read the fill. If I pick this wall and I go to edit type, there's actually a coarse fill pattern in here. And if I pick it and set it to solid fill, click OK and click OK, now that wall will read as gray. Now you would have to change that for all of your generic white wall types, or you can just set, like over here, if I set this to medium, then that one will fill in with the color from the material. Now, one final thing is that if you have a wall, so I'm going to pick this wall, and it's much more complex, like this is a generic wall, there's only one material on this wall. If I were to change this to a more complex wall, so let's say one of Revit's more complex wall, like CMU on metal stud, right? And I have it set to medium, you're going to see all those layers. And if I go to edit type and I go to edit structure, there's all those materials that are applied to this wall, right? And there's more, right? There's more of them down there. So to get that wall to be gray by material, you would have to change all those materials to gray, which you don't really want to do because it's set by construction type, and that's very helpful when you get into detailing. So that's when the visibility graphics come in handy, because then I could just come in here and say, oh no, I just want all my walls to be filled with gray. So I just go to my walls and I go to color and I override it. And then I tell it I want it to be solid fill, and I click OK and click OK. And now, right, if I go to, you can actually see the divisions in the wall if you want to, which is fine. Or if you go to coarse, right, you would not see the divisions. Okay, so a couple of different things that you'll want to keep track of. Revit is fairly complex in the way that it shows things, so I just wanted to update you on those differences in case you ran into them, and also because you should know about them. Okay.